What if aliens didn't invade Earth because they didn't need to? What if they already came, already observed, already tested us, and quietly reached a decision? Not with weapons, not with destruction, but with silence. Tonight, we are not asking, are aliens real? Tonight, we ask something far more disturbing. What if Earth already failed the test? The universe is old, older than we can truly imagine. Billions of galaxies, trillions of stars, countless worlds. Statistically, life should not be rare. So why does space feel empty? No signals, no visitors, no contact. Unless the silence is not emptiness. Unless it is a decision. Imagine a civilization far older than ours. Not aggressive, not desperate, patient. A civilization that learned long ago that young species should not be contacted immediately, because young species are unstable. Instead of invading, they observe. Instead of speaking, they watch. Earth, from this perspective, is not a target. It is a case study. If aliens wanted to test Earth, they wouldn't land on the White House lawn. They wouldn't announce themselves. They would do something far simpler. They would listen. Radio waves, radar signals, military communications, entertainment, news. Everything humanity broadcasts leaks into space. Without realizing it, Earth has been talking for over a century. Not saying who we are, but showing what we value. The test was never about intelligence. Plenty of species can become intelligent. The real test is always the same. What does a species do with power? Do they cooperate or dominate? Do they protect their world or consume it? Do they fear the unknown or try to understand it? Earth's answers were not spoken. They were demonstrated. From orbit, Earth does not look peaceful. It looks organized and violent. Wars are not accidents. They are systems. Entire industries built around destruction. Weapons designed not just to defend, but to erase. Aliens would notice something chilling. Humans do not fight to survive. They fight to win. That distinction matters. Because a species that normalizes violence will eventually export it. Aliens would not see humanity. They would see tribes. Borders defended more fiercely than the planet itself. Differences amplified. Fear weaponized. A species capable of global cooperation choosing fragmentation instead. To an advanced observer, this is not cultural diversity. It is instability. And instability spreads. Earth itself was part of the test. A perfect laboratory. Abundant water. Balanced climate. Self-sustaining ecosystems. The question was simple. Would humans act as caretakers or conquerors? The answer unfolded slowly. Deforestation, extinctions, poisoned oceans, altered atmosphere, not out of necessity, out of convenience. A species that cannot protect the only world it has is not ready for others. Then came the moment that may have ended everything. The atomic age. In 1 century, humans gained the power to destroy themselves completely. This is rare, very rare. Most species destroy themselves accidentally. Humans built a button and kept it. Aliens would recognize this instantly. A civilization that reaches extinction-level power before extinction-level wisdom. That is not a threat. That is a liability. So the test did not end with invasion. It ended with distance. No contact, no guidance, no warning. Not because aliens don't care, but because interference can be dangerous. Some civilizations must either mature on their own or collapse without spreading the damage. Silence, in this case, is not cruelty. It is containment. Here is the tragedy. Humans are not evil. They are creative, curious, capable of compassion. They write music. They save strangers. They dream of the stars. But potential is not enough. The universe does not reward what a species could be. It responds to what a species chooses to be. And Earth's choices have been conflicted. Yet the test may not be over. Aliens, if they exist, would also notice change. Global cooperation during crises. Voices calling for sustainability. Questions about ethics, not just progress. A species beginning to reflect. Beginning to ask, should we? Not just can we. This matters. Because reflection is rare. And hope is not illogical. If Earth is still being tested, this is the final phase. Not technology. Not intelligence. Maturity. Can humans outgrow fear? Can they unify without erasing difference? Can they explore without conquering? Aliens wouldn't need to intervene. They would simply watch. Because the outcome is determined from within. Maybe aliens never landed on Earth. Maybe they never abducted anyone. Never built monuments. Never left messages. Maybe they did something far more significant. Maybe they waited, waiting to see if humanity becomes a civilization worth meeting, or a lesson the universe already learned too many times. Because when aliens tested Earth, they were never judging our technology. They were judging our character. And the test is still ongoing. The question is, if they are watching right now, are we finally passing?
If aliens tested Earth, then silence was never the absence of interest. It was the result. Because every test ends the same way, with a verdict. Not announced, not celebrated, not explained, just quietly accepted. And the most frightening verdict is not rejection. It is uncertainty. The Watchers were never gods, never saviors, never conquerors. They were survivors. Civilizations that lived long enough to understand a brutal truth. The universe is not dangerous because of predators. It is dangerous because of immature intelligence. So they learn to watch first, judge slowly, interfere rarely. Because helping the wrong species can doom many worlds. The verdict is not emotional. It is not moral. It is statistical. How often does this species choose cooperation over dominance? How quickly does it turn fear into violence? How does it treat weaker life? How does it handle power once survival is no longer the issue? Earth provided answers, relentlessly. Humans believed their greatest signal was radio waves. It wasn't. The real signal was behavior. A planet divided despite shared risk. Weapons pointed inward. Progress chained to profit. Truth bent by convenience. To the Watchers, this wasn't chaos. It was a pattern, and patterns are what end civilizations. The verdict on Earth was not too violent. Many civilizations are violent early on. It was not too primitive. Primitive species are harmless. The verdict was more subtle, more dangerous, too powerful, too early. A species racing toward the stars while still thinking in tribes. That combination has never ended well. Every advanced civilization faces a moment historians later call the Great Filter, a point where survival depends not on intelligence, but restraint, nuclear weapons, climate collapse, artificial intelligence, biological engineering. Earth reached all of them at once. That alone would alarm the Watchers. Because when filters stack together, collapse accelerates. Why didn't they warn us? Because warnings change behavior only temporarily. True maturity is revealed when no one is watching. A species that behaves ethically only when supervised is not ethical. It is obedient. The Watchers don't need obedience. They need self-control. So the verdict became policy. Observe. Do not engage. Do not provoke. Let Earth resolve itself. Not as punishment, but as protection. Because a civilization that fails its own test should not be allowed to export failure across the galaxy. Silence became a wall. Not around Earth, around everyone else. This is where the verdict becomes tragic. Because humans are not hopeless. They are contradictory, capable of cruelty, and breathtaking kindness. They build weapons, and then build hospitals. They destroy ecosystems, and mourn their loss. From the Watcher's perspective, Earth is not a villain. It is a risk, and risk is something survivors avoid. Yet verdicts can change. The Watchers know this. Because evolution is not linear, they would notice something new. Global conversations about ethics, fear of unchecked power, a growing awareness that survival requires unity, slow, fragile, but real. These are not signs of intelligence. They are signs of wisdom beginning. Every tested world gets one window. A narrow moment where collapse is still avoidable, where choices still matter, where a species decides what kind of intelligence it wants to be. Earth may still be inside that window, but windows close. Not dramatically, quietly. The Watchers wouldn't look for perfection. They would look for direction, less domination, more responsibility, less extraction, more preservation, less fear of difference, more shared identity. Not a united government. A united priority, survival, together. So the verdict of the Watchers was never carved in stone. It was written in pencil. Because Earth is not finished, humanity is not complete. and the universe is patient. But not infinite. The Watchers are still watching. Not to see how powerful humans become, but to see what they do with the power they already have. Because in the end, the most important test was never about aliens. It was about whether humanity could become a civilization that deserves to be known. And in part 3, we will ask the final question. If the Watchers decide to return, will it be for contact or for closure?